Hey Sparkle Squad, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jasmine and welcome to my channel. Today's video, we are going to be returning to the jumps and we're going to be continuing with how to do a double loop. So I took a little bit of break from doing jumps, but I'm back at it. And if you guys want a tutorial on how to do any of the other jumps, including singles, axle, double saddle, toe, all the way up until double loop, I'll have all those videos on my channel if you want to go check them out before learning how to do a double loop. But today, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to get your double loop in figure skating. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so if you guys are not able to do the rest of the doubles up until double loop, I really recommend it because a double loop is probably one of the hardest doubles to learn since you're completely taking off from backwards. You have no like extra support or extra help going up into it. You're basically gliding backwards and you're just going to jump into the air. So what you want to make sure that you have before you start working on double loop is you want to make sure that you have a single loop, obviously, but you also want to make sure that you have all of your singles, nice strong single loop. You have to have axle, double saddle, and double toe. But we're going to be learning how to do a double loop today, and I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to get it in skating. Alright guys, so the very first thing that we're actually going to start off with is we're going to start off from standstill. So we're actually going to do an inside 3-turn going into this right now. So all we're going to do is I'm going to be standing in a T position. I'm a righty, so if you guys are a righty, just follow along what I'm doing. I'm going to have my right foot in front and my left foot behind in my T position. But if you guys are a lefty, you're going to have to switch everything around and do it the opposite direction. But if you're working on double loop, then I'm sure that you guys already know how to switch things in your direction. And it's just going to be the same way that you guys do your single loop. So I'm just going to stand here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do an inside 3-turn. I'm going to flip backwards and I'm actually going to have both my feet on the ice just like this. So my feet are going to be kind of like almost like right in front of each other, but my left foot is actually going to be a little bit more on the outside edge. So you want to, on a double loop, you want to make sure that both your feet are on an outside edge. You don't want to have an inside and an outside edge. So you want to have them nice and crossed just like this. And your upper body is going to be hugging the circle. So you want to make sure that you're nice and inside of your circle. You don't want it to be too far out. You don't want to be like this going into your loop because then you're not going to be able to pull in or get up in the air. So you want to make sure that you have a nice twist, especially on your double loop. So we're going to be just gliding in this position. So once we get that position down, we're going to add a single loop to it. So we're going to go here. We're going to take a nice inside 3-turn and we're just going to go single loop. So we're going to work on doing that single loop. You want to make sure that you have a nice strong single loop that you feel very confident with and you can land most of the time. So we're going to go here, inside 3, and single loop, just like that. So I just want you guys to get used to doing that inside 3-turn because that inside 3-turn is what we're going to be learning how to do our double loop off of. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do a single loop into a back scratch. So we're going to go step. We're going to be gliding just like this in this position. We're going to go up into our single loop. Once we land, we're not going to drop our foot, but we're going to go straight into a back scratch and then into our landing position. So we're going to go here, get a nice inside 3-turn, single loop, back scratch. The important part is not to drop your foot, and you also don't want to open up your arms when you land. You want to keep them nice and checked because this is how we're going to get used to doing that extra rotation. So we're going to go here, inside 3, check, don't drop your foot, into a back scratch. So that's what you want to make sure that you do. You don't want to land your loop, completely open up, and then try and go into your back scratch because then you won't be able to stay in position when you're in the air when you're doing your double loop. So we're just going to work on that until you get comfortable with it. So now we're going to do a loop bell jump. So I've been telling you guys about bell jumps basically in all of the tutorials I've done for jumps, and they really do help when you're first learning how to do a new jump because it just helps you get that little bit of extra rotation. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a loop bell jump. So what it is, it's 1.5 rotations. So you're actually going to go here, you're going to do your single, and you're going to land forwards. So it's a little bit more than a single, but it also isn't a double yet. So it's just getting you used to doing a little more extra rotation. So you're going to go up into your single and you're going to land forwards, gliding on 2 feet. So you're going to actually take a couple of pushes, get some speed, 3-turn, and land forward just like that. So once you land, you want to make sure that you land in a nice check position. You don't want to land with your arms like all flailing around. You just want them nice and checked, just like how you would normally check for when you're going into a spin or how you would hold your hands for a landing position. So we're going to go here. We're going to push and bell jump. So when you do it, you still want to bring your arms in and then bring them back out. So you're going to start with your arms nice and wide and open, just like this, nice and checked, hugging your circle. You're going to bring them in while you're doing your rotations, and then you're going to bring them out once you land. You don't want to rotate with your arms out here or here. You want to make sure that you always bring them together, and then we're just going to work on that until we can do that like consistently. So once we're able to do a bell jump, we're going to add another half rotation, and we're going to try and rotate the full double loop, but we're still going to try and land on 2 feet. So we're going to just going into it, we're going to push, and then you just want to go up into the double loop, and you want to land on 2 feet, just like how you would normally for a bell jump, but instead of landing forwards, you're going to try and land backwards and just get it rotated. If you aren't able to rotate it the first try, that's okay, because it takes a lot of work. You're rotating a new jump, and a loop is a lot different than axle, sow, and toe, because axle, sow, and toe are a part of an axle family, and then loop, flip, and lutz are part of the loop family. So this is a completely different jump. So this one might take you a little bit longer to get, but trust me, it's worth it in the end. It does take a lot of work, but you guys got this, and I believe in all of you guys. So we're just gonna try and get it rotated. And what we're gonna do is once we're in here, in order to get that rotation, we're gonna be right here. Our arm that's in front of us, we want to bring it through as much as we can. So when I'm learning loop, or I'm working on triple loop right now, it's really, really important that you're bringing your arm all the way through. My coach always tells me to envision that there's someone behind you that you really don't like, and then try and like hit them in the face, or take the door and slam the door or something. So you just want to make sure that you have that force when you're going into it. So you're going to be nice, strong here, and you're going to use that arm and swing it around in order to get the rotation. And that's actually going to initiate the rotation for you guys so that you're able to get up into the air and start rotating. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to try and rotate it and land on 2 feet. Just like that. It's a little bit harder, but you want to make sure that you're trying to get that full rotation. So I'm actually going to try and do that one more time. So we're going to go here and swing. And land on 2 feet, just like that. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna try and do the double loop, and we're gonna land on 1 foot. So when we're right here, you don't wanna land on 2 feet with your feet crossed. You obviously want your feet to be crossed and your arms together and while you're in the air, but you don't wanna land on 2 feet just like this. So one thing that my coach always tells me is you wanna come out and do an eagle. So basically what that means is you're gonna bring your foot that's crossed over, you're gonna bring it up to your knee, and out and around, and that's actually going to help you stay centered over your foot so that you're not like falling or all over the place. So you're here, you're just going to lift your foot up, and then you're going to come out and land. So we're actually going to go, and we're going to try and do the double loop on 1 foot, and we're going to try and remember to do that eagle so that we lift our foot up and we're not landing on 2 feet. So we're going to go, push, swing, and eagle, and land. So for a loop, you're obviously not going to be able to land it perfectly the first time. If you can, that's amazing. Great for you. I'm so proud of you. But it's going to take a lot of hard work, just like with all of your other jumps. And if you're already working on loop, then you have the experience with the axle, double sow, double toe. And it definitely isn't something that you can do automatically, but you just have to keep working on it and pushing on it. And one day it'll eventually click and you'll be able to do it. So you just have to keep working hard at it. And I promise that you guys will definitely get it one day. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to go into it with some more speed. So we're going to get some extra crossovers, and this is once you're able to land your double loop without, like, from standstill. So what we're going to do, there's many different ways that you can get into it. You can either do the inside 3 turn going into it. You could also do the one that I like doing is I do like an outside mohawk. I do outside mohawk across, and then I go up into my double loop. But a lot of people also just go straight from backward crossovers, and then they just pull, and then they go straight into their double loop. Whichever way you prefer is perfectly fine. I recommend experimenting with a single loop, see which one you feel the most comfortable with, but I like doing the outside mohawk because I feel like it kind of helps me check, and the twist helps me get to this position faster. So I'm just going to show you guys what that one looks like with speed. Alright guys, so this is the end of the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed and that it helped you guys get some tips and tricks on how to do your double loop. If you guys have any other tutorials that you want me to do, leave those down below in the comments and I'd be happy to do them for you guys. But I will see you guys in my next video. Love you guys. Bye!